welcome back to Beats and Eats. Ty Ray Nick Gelso, CLNS Radio with you on a Monday night, a Labor Day edition. The lounge is open, and with us on the line is rock and roll royalty. Mr. Eddie Money's been kind enough to join us on this Labor Day evening. He's just gotten off the road in Florida. Eddie, thanks for joining us tonight on Beats and Eats.
Great, thank you so much. Great Labor Day weekend, everybody. It's nice to have 3 days off in a row. Of course, we just did a sold-out show down there at the Hard Rock in Tampa. Place was there's like a Betty Boop cartoon. Everybody was shaking with the money, man. And before that, we did a show down in Hollywood, down there at the Seminole Casino. We've been having a good time. You know, we played outside of Chicago. It's got a lot of great fans out there, and the show's been going great. They're really having a lot of fun.
Eddie, man, it is pedal to the metal for you. 150, 175 shows, what, a year? I mean, you're just cranking them out.
Well, you know, I've got to tell you the truth. You know, the kids are happening right now. My kid, Jessie's got a career that's really starting to take off. He's turning into quite the songwriter. And, you know, Jessica, she's getting herself back in gear again. So the kids are happening. And my other kid is into, like, dubstep. And I don't know, the kids, they're all in the garage doing God knows what. But they don't think they're going to suspend. You know, who the hell knows? They don't think they're going to be famous. She said, Dad, you made it. You know, Bon Jovi. I said, guys, give me a break, will you? But the kids are doing good. Lori and I getting along good. We've got a lot of great fans out there. I'm supporting the Elizabeth Glazer Pediatrics AIDS Foundation. These kids that are born HIV positive through no fault of their own. So I was out there selling shirts for the kids. And we got a new shirt out. One More Soldier Coming Home. A song about a kid that actually doesn't make it back from, say, Afghanistan. You can go to my website, anybody.com. And a lot of the proceeds are actually going to the Intrepid Fallen Hero Fund, which is a nonprofit charitable organization. They got two facilities, one in San Antonio, now they got a new facility actually in Maryland. So we do what we can for the troops and for the kids, you know that.
How do you keep your energy level up, man? You are everywhere all the time.
Well, you know, we just finished doing the Geico commercial, and they just used my song, We Should Be Sleeping. They did that for the Beauty West commercial. So, you know, I mean, you know, plus I was on Guitar Heroes and Intrepid Auto, this and that. You know, we're getting a lot of airplay. And, you know, they always bring back the old Dick Clark specials and the Arsenio Hall stuff. And we've had a lot of fun. We've done a lot of TV. And Kevin James is a good buddy of mine. Of course, we were on the Kevin James Show. And then we were out there with Drew Carey. And, of course, I'm very good friends with Jay Leno. We get on that one. You know, it's great to get out on television, get out of the house, get back to New York. We got a place back in New York, off of Central Park South. My wife more likes to go back there and jog in the park. I like to go back there and fight with all the cabbies, you know.
And that's where you're from. That's your roots, right? That's where you grew up,
well,
Long Island, right?
New York City kid. You know, I was a cop in New York City, and I grew up in New York City. But I'm more of a Brooklyn boy than a Manhattan boy. You know, I grew up in Brooklyn. Then moved
Let me ask you a question.
Island.
I know you're a huge baseball fan. You love the Dodgers. The last time I talked to you, we talked about the Dodgers, in fact. Does your love of the Dodgers come from being from Brooklyn?
Well, I want to tell you the truth. Now, when I was a kid, now I'm a little older than you, but when I was a kid, like, you know, Jackie Robinson was playing baseball, Duke Snider, Pee Wee Reese, Carl Furillo, Roy Campanella. I'm talking about the 1955 Dodgers that beat the New York Yankees. Well, my father was an usher at Ebbets Field. So I used to go to all the games. When you know, I grew up loving the Brooklyn Dodgers, and then when the Dodgers moved out to L.A., back in the early 70s, I moved down to Los Angeles, and, you know, I go to all the Dodger games right now. You know me. If you cut me, my blood is blue, baby. You know that.
And they've played great. It's funny. Everybody was asking for Mattingly's head, and then all of a sudden they go on the best run in history.
Turned around. I'm happy for the guy. But, you know, I'm kind of like, I'm not that fickle, but in the beginning of the year, they were doing so terrible. I had better things to do. But, you know, I'm on the gravy train with everybody else. They're having a great year, you know. They beat the Padres. We're all happy, you know.
So how many games you get to a year, Eddie?
You know, I don't know what's going to happen. I'll tell you, the East Coast Division is a tough one back there. When you're talking about the Colorado Rockies and the San Diego Padres. I mean, come on, what kind of division are you talking about? It's kind of like, you know, Little League. But you get back there, you talk about the Central Division, what the thing, you got Detroit back there in the American League, and you got Philly back there, and you got Pittsburgh. There's some tough fights out there going on right now,
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. The Pirates are having an amazing year.
Yeah,
Nobody expected that.
And I tell you, the Cardinals aren't just going to fall down and die. You know that.
No, they're always solid, start to finish, 162.
But
if you don't mind,
I'm very glad that the Dodgers are on the hunt because I've been out here. We feel really good about having a good year. Let's face the facts of life. Everybody's very happy out here.
And if the Dodgers are having a good year, it's just good for baseball. Would you mind, Eddie, if I indulge you a little bit in going back to the past a little bit? I was talking to Nick, my co-host, about this earlier in the show. I used to literally sit on the couch in the MTV infancy and to watch and wait for Shaken because I was in love with Apollonia. What was that like?
She's a very hot young lady. I got to tell you the truth. When I first met her, she had a boyfriend that was a karate expert. He was older than me. He was really great. And he was out of his mind, jealous, crazy over the girl. I wasn't really into it that much because, I had my girlfriend on at the set with me at the time. Women, especially in those days, I was in my 20s. My old lady was on me like a fly on what. But, yeah, Apollonia was a sweetheart. She was a sweetheart. She got into it. It was a lot of fun. We did a lot of great videos. We did that video, Think I'm in Love, where I played Dracula, because the kids don't get to see that much because my first wife's in that one. Yeah, we made a lot of it. We made a lot of videos, had a lot of fun. It was great. I was like the heartthrob of MTV there for 5 or 6 years.
And then you did, of course, Take Me Home Tonight with Ronnie Spector, and you talk about class. What a video that was. It must have been just a thrill to work with her.
You know what? I'll tell you the truth. I called her up, and she had dropped out of the business. And she said, Eddie Money, oh, yeah, I know you from that Two Tickets to Paradise. I go, Ronnie, there's a song that's a tribute to you. And it's got 2 choruses in it. She said, what? It's got Take Me Home Tonight, and there was one chorus, and it's got your original Phil Spector song, Be My Little Baby. It's the second part of the chorus. I said, I think it's going to be a smash. But, when she did the song with me, when she's such a sweetheart, when she got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, there I am watching it on TV. My heart was glowing for her. And she turns around and she thanks me. What a doll, huh?
Wow. She had such an amazing career herself, and she went through her issues too. And to unite with her and make just music magic, you still hear that song all the time. And Eddie, when you pen a song or a song comes out, can you kind of tell in your gut if it's going to have longevity?
You kind of feel things like that every once in a while it came out. I never thought that Baby Hold On was going to be as big as Two Tickets to Paradise, but for some reason, the record label picked Baby Hold On instead of Two Tickets. I would have picked Two Tickets instead of Baby Hold On. But, it's crazy. Like, I never thought that Walk on Water was going to be as big as it was, But, you get lucky and you're in the right place at the right time. You do a good video. You got there. You play, plus we were on the road with the Rolling Stones. We opened up the Who. We played with Fleetwood Mac. We played with the Cars. We played with Steve Miller. I mean, we've been out there playing with everybody. So every time I had a hit single out, whether it be a Take Me Home Tonight or a Walk on Water or a Shakin', I was always out there for a bunch of people,
Do you ever take time out, Eddie, for yourself just to, look back at your career? I mean, I know you're a busy guy, so it's hard just to relax ever for yourself. But do you ever just sit back and relax and go, damn, what a career I've had, 5 decades, how incredible, the people that you've met?
Well, it's a lot of fun. When I think about the airport, when I think about LAX, or I think of, LaGuardia, this is like my office to me. This is like, this is my office here. The parking lot is like, my front steps of my house. But, yeah, we do a lot of traveling. I mean, we're really, a lot of people would die to be as big as I am in the States. I mean, I don't know if you could really sell me as a hostage in Europe. I did pretty good over there. But, to go to, Columbus, Ohio, or to go to Fort Lauderdale, or go down there to, New Orleans, and people just coming out and checking out the show and dancing and Take Me Home Tonight and Think I'm in Love and I Want to Go Back. It's really a lot of fun,
It must be really cool to see grandparents, parents, and their children singing your music. They're standing there on stage looking across this wave of humanity and everybody singing your songs.
You know, I got to turn around. I'm glad my wife's got me going back to church again a little bit, because I got to thank God for all the things He's given to me. And I got to tell you, my music, it's given a lot of joy to a lot of people out there. I mean, who wouldn't want 2 tickets to Paradise? Who doesn't think they're in love? Who doesn't want to take somebody home tonight?
Right.
It's all like, we're all living the life of teenagers. What am I going to do?
So what's next for Eddie Money?
Well, I'm trying to get this play back on the ground. I wrote the play called 2 Tickets to Paradise, and it was about me moving out to California with the guys in the band and quitting the police department and going through all the. It's really a great play, and I'm trying to get the thing back off the ground again. And of course, I got this song, One More Soldier, coming home. I'm trying to raise some money to help these veterans out with this Intrepid Fallen Hero Fund. And I'm just, I tell them I got 5 kids up to anything to get out of the house. We're on the road all the time.
And Jessie doing great stuff again. She's singing with you on tour, right?
Well, you know what? When she comes out, she comes out. When she doesn't come out, she doesn't come out. If I had a nickel for every time I wait for my daughter to come to jump in the car and go to the airport, I'd be a really rich man. It ain't happening.
And you said Dez is working too in music?
They got a band together. My son's playing drums. My other kid's playing bass. They got a band together. They're practicing in the music room all the time. I don't really, I can't. They're crazy. They don't want to listen to me. My Lori says to me, "Why don't you leave the kids alone? What are you, Joe Jackson? Quit picking on the kids."
Joe Jackson.
My wife says to me, "Leave the kids alone. What are you, Joe Jackson?"
Well, I saw Jessie. I think she's very talented. I saw her one night. You guys were singing some stuff off of I think it's called the Wanna Go Back album. It's an oldies album from your days of Grace and Wrath, right? Yeah, she was singing
She's getting ready to do this thing for the Fuse TV network. They called her up. They wanted to host a couple of days. So she's getting ready to go back to New York. I think she's going back to New York and be working with the Fuse people. That'll be great. She'll have a lot of fun. She's very animated. She comes up with all this funny stuff, I don't know.
She's got a lot of charisma, that girl.
Yeah, she's a good girl, man. I call her Little Jessie Rehab.
Anyway, Eddie, I'll tell you what, we'll let you go. You've been very generous on this Labor Day with your time, and thanks for sharing the stories. And, man, continued success. Always a pleasure every time I get to speak with you. Best of luck, bud.
Well, I just wanted to tell you, my wife was actually talking about divorce for me and moving to Las Vegas. I said, what now? What's going on? She says, I'm a good-looking woman. I said, Lori, everybody knows you're a gorgeous woman. She said to me, an escort service. I said, what? She said, an escort service would give me $10,000 a night just to keep a gentleman company. I said, Lori, I said, I'm going to follow you to Las Vegas. She said, why? I said, I want to see how you're going to live on $20,000 a year.
Oh, man.
I was only kidding. Give me a break. Will you come on?
Yeah, very funny stuff, man. Very funny stuff.
My wife's not around, so it's boys' night out. You know how I am, guys. Come on, to me.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
listen, have a great show. Have a great Labor Day weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. All
right, take care, Ed.
Thanks, Eddie.
All right.
Good night. That's legendary rocker Eddie Money on Beats and Eats. Who knew he did stand-up?
I was just going to say, we don't need a comedian tonight.
Wow.
Eddie was great.
Was that something? He could do the show by himself.
He can, and he's a legend, and listening to you interview him was great, man. I mean, I just sat back and listened. I mean, Eddie effing Money.
On Beats and Eats, on CLNS Radio, rock and roll royalty. The guy has played, Nick, with everybody, and as you can tell, just in my voice, we talked before I started the show, I wasn't in the greatest of spirits, but talking to Eddie Money, rock and roll royalty, I've followed this guy forever. He's had some ups, he's had some downs. I think it says a lot that a guy is still doing 150, 175 shows a year, Nick, in his 60s.